Good morning and welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emma James coming to you live from your. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Presidency clarifies that President Tinubu is in St. Lucia for diplomatic engagement, not vacation. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Wilson Jack, says civil service committed to rewarding excellence. Plus, Israeli Ambassador Freeman insists peace depends on Iran's action. I'll bring you details of these stories and more in just a moment. First news this morning is that the presidency has stated that, contrary to claims in some quarters, President Bola Tinubu's visit to St. Lucia is for strategic engagement, not a vacation. Tinubu arrived in Viant Fort, St. Lucia, early yesterday, sparking claims in some quarters that the president had gone to the Caribbean nation for a vacation. However, presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga, in a statement, described the claims as misguided, mischievous, and uninformed. Away from that, the federal government has declared a state of emergency on the construction of the Suleja Mina Road. The Minister of Works, David Umani, made this known. The road project was awarded initially to Salini Nigerian Limited, but work had neither been done badly or abandoned at some point. An effort to get them to repair the road over a year and a half had been unsuccessful. He said that the Niger governor, Mohamed Bago, had raised concerns directly with President Bola Tinubu, who directed the ministry to intervene. He described the road as being in a very terrible situation, delaying travel time by 7 hours instead of an hour and a half, and vehicles are falling and killing people. Omani explained that the Suleja Mina Road was an inherited project from the past administration, adding that the problem had been the contractors. He also said that the contractors were funded and they worked, but all the work they had done failed. We move now to the Green Chambers, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has promised to provide a 100 million naira startup capital to graduates of a vocational and skill acquisition center in Zaria Federal Constituency. He made the pledge while addressing graduating students of the Zainab Ahmed ICT and Vocation Center in Zaria as part of the activities marking the second anniversary as a Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. He urged them to be creative, noting that ICT had broadened the scope of knowledge. The event was attended by some federal lawmakers and members of the Kaduna State House of Assembly. In a separate development, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, George Akume, has reacted to reports claiming he has stepped down from the position. The rumors, which circulated across various social media platforms, alleged that Akume had been relieved of his duties and replaced by Hadiza Bala Usman. Reacting to the development in a statement issued by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Akume refuted the claim, branding it as baseless and deceptive. According to a statement signed by Segun Imoyesen, Director of Information and Public Relations, Akume is still the SGF and continues to enjoy the full confidence of the presidency. According to report, the purported removal of the SGF from office is only but a fabrication and a figment of the imagination of mischief makers who were out there to disinform and misinform the public. He also stressed that Senator George Akume remains the secretary to the government of the Federation. Elsewhere, the federal government has defended its decision to reward 18 outstanding civil servants with new sport facilities, vehicles, laptops, and other valuable prizes, saying the gesture was recognition of their silent but impactful contributions to public service reform. At the 2025 Civil Service Award Night held in Abuja, the head of Civil Service of the Federation, CSF DT Esther Wilson Jug described the honorees as quiet reformers whose daily efforts often go unnoticed but are critical to national development. She said the awardees were selected for consistently upholding excellence, the high flood rate state, integrity, and discipline in a demanding system. While Sunjab praised President Bola Tinubu for his support for civil service reforms, citing recent strides in digitization, performance management, and welfare, including the new minimum wage and pension reforms. The HCSF therefore called for punctuality and discipline in the service, insisting that early resumption and consistent attendance must become the new face of the reform. On security matters, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has congratulated officers, soldiers, and families of the Nigerian Army on the occasion of the 2025 Nigerian Army Day celebration, commemorating the Army's 162 years of service to the nation. In a goodwill message delivered on his behalf by the General Officer commanding 8th Division, Major General Ibikunle Ayoshe, to mark the commencement of the Nassau with Jumat prayers and interdenominational church services across the country. Oluyede described the anniversary as significant and symbolic, emphasizing the Army's deep-rooted tradition of seeking divine guidance and expressing gratitude for victories and resilience in the face of adversity. Reflecting on the past year, Oluyede paid tribute to his predecessor, the late Lieutenant General Tawhid Lakbaja, who passed on in November 2024. He described the late former COAS as a dedicated leader whose contributions will continue to inspire generations of soldiers. He acknowledged the current security challenges confronting the nation and reiterated the Nigerian Army commitment to safeguarding Nigeria's territorial integrity, protecting citizens' rights, and supporting civil authorities. He urged officers and soldiers to renew their loyalty and dedication to national unity, peace, and prosperity. The Army boss expressed a deep appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his leadership and support, as well as to the National Assembly, state governors, the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, and other service chiefs and security agencies for their continued cooperation. We move now to Africa, where Egyptian Foreign Minister Bad Abdolati has condemned Israel's attack on Iran's nuclear facilities and emphasized the importance of sustaining the current ceasefire between both countries. Abdolati made this known in Cairo while speaking with reporters. He was joined by his Australian counterpart, Beth Melin Wisinga, during a visit to Egypt. Recall that on June 13, Israel started bombing Iran's nuclear facilities and reportedly assassinated top military figures and scientists. Iran retaliated by firing hundreds of ballistic missiles at Israeli cities, killing dozens. On the foreign scene, Israel's ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, says peace in the Middle East largely hinge on the decisions and actions taken by the Iranian government. In an interview, Freeman described Iran as the only country whose leadership has openly threatened to annihilate another nation. He stressed that such threats continue to fuel instability in the region and beyond. Freeman criticized Iran's internal leadership, calling its government dictatorial and brutal, and also noted that the people have not been given the opportunity to freely choose their leaders. He also warned that the Iranian regime is a threat not only to its people, but to other countries. Still on the foreign scene, Israel has ordered Palestinians to evacuate from parts of northern Gaza ahead of increased military action as US President Donald Trump pushes for a ceasefire deal. At least 86 people were killed as a result of Israeli attacks in 24 hours. According to reports, US President Donald Trump has reiterated calls to make a deal in Gaza and get the hostages. Many thanks for staying tuned. On a business news, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery says it will absorb over 1.7 trillion naira annually in its plan to distribute fuel directly to marketers nationwide. The refinery said it invested over 720 billion naira to implement the initiative of deploying 4,000 compressed natural gas powered trucks for the nationwide distribution of petroleum products, saying this was expected to save Nigerians over 1.7 trillion naira annually. The initiative, which aims to eliminate transportation costs of fuel among large-scale consumers, is also expected to help reduce pump prices and inflation. Of 65 million liters of refined petroleum products, which includes 45 million liters of premium motor spirit, 15 million liters of diesel, and 5 million liters of aviation fuel. Still in business, marketers of petroleum products have expressed anticipation of a possible crash in the prices of premium motor spirits following the drop in crude oil prices. The Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria said there could be a new price regime from today based on the reduction in the cost of crude oil. Reports say the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and other fuel marketers have kept petrol prices above 900 naira per litre despite the decline in the price of crude oil. On a health news, the Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria, ACPN, has raised the alarm over what it described as a silent but dangerous epidemic ravaging the country's youth and endangering national stability. The group said the surge in drug abuse across Nigeria spiral into unimaginable levels. Speaking in a statement, the national chairman of ACPN, Eze Igwe described concerns over the widespread substance abuse. The pharmacist body called for tighter regulation on the supply chain of controlled drugs, increased public awareness through media and schools, and a more empowered role for community pharmacies in delivering early interventions and education services. Let's move now to sports where Nigeria's Super Falcons delivered a commanding performance in their final preparatory match ahead of the 2025 Women's African Cup of Nations (WAFCON), defeating Ghana's Black Queens 3-1 in Casablanca yesterday. The friendly served as a key test of readiness before the continental tournament kicks off next weekend. The result marked Nigeria's second win in their pre-tournament friendlies after a goalless draw with Portugal last week and a victory over Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses. Still in sport, Paris Saint-Germain streamrolled Miami hoped the Argentina superstar magic could help them produce an unlikely result against its former side, but the major leans were laid bare over the 90 minutes. Joan Neves netted twice for PSG, who benefited from a Thomas Avila's own goal, opened the scoring early on, near the end of the first half. Popular gospel singer Israel Ikwereve, popularly known as New Jerusalem, has passed away at the age of 53. News of his death had sparked widespread mourning across Benue State, particularly within the Christian community, where he was reverend for transforming Tiv Swange music into a powerful medium for spreading the gospel. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. You've been watching Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James. Do have a lovely day and thank you for watching.